Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you I say shalom. This is the brother Yeshaya coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. With another Lord willing edifying lesson through the Spirit, through the Ruach HaKodesh. But I'm going to be touching on a couple videos, well, really two videos. I'm going to be skipping around because it's kind of long. This first video is 6 minutes long, which we're not going to watch all of that. Just kind of, be skipping around here and there. And then even the other video, it's a little lengthy too, so I'm going to be skipping around. But the title I want to give this video will be Americans Are Ready to Give Up, right? As you see in that video right here, it says this is the reason so many Americans are giving up, right? So she's going to talk a little bit, and then she's going to she's going to show some video clips of these Americans pretty much complaining at the state that America is in as far as financially, right? But let me go ahead and play this, and then we'll get some precepts.
It's really bad when entire generations like Gen Z and millennials are just basically throwing up their hands and saying, what's even the point?
This is what I'm struggling with in America right now in my 20s. Why is everything so expensive? Why am I making more money waitressing than I would make using my college degree? I barely have a life. I have 2 days off and I work Wednesday to Sunday, doubling just to pay my bills. At 22 years old, all of my bills are in my name. I have no help. How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, a one-bedroom apartment is $1,500. How are y'all getting insurance, going to the doctor, getting medicine? And then some of us are trying to be TikTok influencers. Who knows where that's going to get me? Me and my boyfriend are saving, but we barely see each other during the week, and it feels like we're working out for nothing. Do we need to move somewhere for a better job opportunity that we don't know about? Do any of y'all really know what you want to do with your life right now? It is so scary being in America right now.
What am I doing wrong? I work every day and I'm still broke.
Right, so so these Americans are out here, man, complaining at the situation that America has gotten itself in due to the tariffs, due to high inflation, this debt-based society. It's all failing, man. Everything is crashing. Everything is, falling down, right? But there was a couple points she made, pretty much how, rent is going up, there's a cost of living crisis, food, is going up as well. And so really it's all due to inflation. Inflation is going up. So your dollar don't really have the same buying power as it used to have 10, 15, 20 years ago. Right? Everything has pretty much doubled in price. If you're eating out, you're eating fast food, or you're going out eating, at these restaurants, you're really spending at least, especially in restaurants, you're spending at least 15 and up. Unless you just go cheap, buy the cheapest thing on their menu. Right? So everything is going up. You have what they call shrinkflation, right? Where they give you the illusion that you're buying the same amount, but really you're buying something less for more than the original value was, right? So it might not seem like, like for example, you might go buy, a bag of salt, a bag of whatever lettuce or whatever, right? The bag will be like 20% smaller, and then the price will be like 50 cents more, right? So you have that going on. And let me go back. She made some other point. Let me run this back.
How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, my bills. At 22 years old, all of my bills are in my name. I have no help. How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, a one-bedroom apartment is $1,500. How are y'all getting insurance, going to the doctor, getting medicine? And then some of us are trying to be TikTok influencers. Who knows where that's going to get me? Me and my boyfriend are saving, but we barely see each other during the week, and it feels like we're working our off for nothing. Do we need to move somewhere for a better job opportunity?
Right. So pretty much people are losing hope. People are seeing, the future of America, is not looking bright. It's looking very bleak. Everything isn't promoted as Donald Trump is saying, right? To make America great again. America's on the brink of collapse. America's through. We're seeing the fall of America as we speak. When you look at these, you watch these different economists, they say that a crash is imminent. When you look at historians, they talk about how they compare this time period as when Rome fell. When we're reaching the 250th year, I believe is next year, 250th year of America, or since America's inception. So America's birthday is coming up, and when you look at I forgot where exactly it was, but pretty much they say that the average lifespan of a kingdom is like, or of an empire is like 250 years. So we're coming to that point. I'm not saying that America's going to fall exactly at 250 years, right? But the fact that we're seeing the signs and the symptoms of an empire collapsing, just shows that this kingdom don't have much left to go on, man. America's on its last leg, on its last toe, and we're seeing these Americans are being hit by it, and not just Jake, this woman right here is an Edomite. Well, I believe she's an Edomite, right? But we're seeing Edomites even starting to feel it. And we know how Edomites are, man. They can't handle pressure. They can't handle suffering. So soon we're going to start seeing people really crash out. And we're just in the beginning stages of this thing. Wait until things start ramping up. Wait until prices really start skyrocketing. When things is just unaffordable. When you have to really penny pinch your way just to make it through the week. These are the times that we're coming into. Right? But let's continue on.
That we don't know about. Do any of y'all really know what you want to do with your life right now? It is so scary being in America right now.
What am I doing wrong? I work every day and I'm still broke. Like, I have a decent job, I make some decent money, but I live out here in Cali. Like, bro, as soon as I get paid, I have all these bills stacked up, bro, that shit wipes me clean. Like, fuck, I got no money left over. Making $100,000 a year doesn't get you anywhere nowadays.
Hi guys, I'm really stressed today. I just went to the grocery store, bought 10 items, and it was $80 freaking dollars already. I literally have $10 left on my account. So a little backstory, I got laid off from my job a month ago. And I've been applying for jobs months before I got laid off. Sent out hundreds of resumes already. Applied to hundreds of jobs on the internet, remote and on-site. Tailored my resume to every position that I applied using ChatGPT. Went to only a few interviews. And still nothing. Like, what the f is going on with America right now? Like, it's so freaking hard to live here. Like, I'm gonna stay positive. I'm gonna keep applying for jobs. I'm gonna keep showing up. But man, my bills are not going to wait.
Y'all, I just went.
See, that's another thing too, man. Them bills don't wait, man. They don't let up. It doesn't matter your situation. The bill is due, man. The bill's gonna have to come due. You're gonna have to pay that bill one way or another. Either that or just get evicted, lose whatever possession it is that you're making the payment on. Right? But this is the situation of America right now. Here it is. They're sending money to these 70, what was it, or 49ers, right? 1949ers. They're sending money over there, and millions of dollars, billions of dollars. But yet you people here in America struggling, creating tent cities, getting evicted from different houses, can't pay student debts. People can't even, people are just giving up to the point where they're not even paying off their debts. credit cards, student loans, mortgages. People are just fed up to the point where we've seen just recently. All these people, you know, thinking they were going to get raptured up. Was it September 23rd? People thought people were going to get raptured up. That. See, but that's to say that like people are just really looking for an escape. Really, they want to escape this reality. That's how bad. And like I said, we're just in the beginning. Like things are really just gonna get worse, worse and worse from here on out. You see, Donald Trump is promising you peace and safety, but all that people are really seeing is, pain and suffering. Right? Let me play this, continue playing this, and I'm going to skip over to the next one, to the next video that I have.
Today and got my driver's license renewed, my car tags renewed, picked up 2 prescriptions, and got a few groceries. To say that I'm completely broke now is an understatement. So I'm going to have to go home and start selling off my furniture to be able to live the rest of the month. I mean, that's just, it's unbelievable.
See, and that's something too. Like I said, you're going to have to make a decision on what is important. Like that, the whole going out shopping and going to the mall on the weekend and, going to a restaurant every other day and, doing all these things. These are luxuries that people can no longer afford. You're going to have to start selling that Gucci bag. You're going to have to start selling all them Jordans. You're going to have to start, like she was talking about, selling your furniture. Oh, I'm going to have to get rid of this couch so I can eat today. Like, this is the situation Americans are in right now. America is literally becoming a third world country. It already is a third world country, just with the elder said, I can't remember which elder said it, but he said America is just a third world country with a Gucci belt, giving you the facade, the illusion of being a first world country. But really, when you look at the people, the populace, right? Really, the population majority is on the poverty line. The middle class is quickly disappearing, and it's just becoming the lower class and the high class. The majority of that population is in the low class, right? But let me see. Let me play a little bit more.
And my heart hurts today, truly hurts for people who are not able. And we're living in some rough times, really rough times. And we need to be praying for all those around us who are not as fortunate as we are to be able to do the things that we need to do. I'm not talking about extras. I'm not talking about going on vacation and doing fun things. I'm talking about living, taking care of your vehicle, if you can even afford a vehicle, putting groceries on the table, buying medicine, the things you have to do. It's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, it's a really sad thing here. We have a generation that is right now trying to survive in the US, and they're doing it at a time that it is so difficult with the rising costs. I really do feel for the younger generation and even for the older generation. I mean, you're hearing the stories here that it's just so difficult right now. You go and do a few things and it's like your bank account is empty, and that is the reality. Money goes by so quickly, and the reason why is because, primarily, in my opinion, wages have not kept up here in the US. That's a fact. And also the cost of everything has gone up so dramatically that right now it's just not lining up. It's really, really, really difficult to make ends meet. And you do have to start learning to do with less. Take out the luxuries in life, take out the unnecessary vacations, the unnecessary spending, take out the wants, and really just focus on the needs. And even just by getting the needs, purchasing the needs, taking care of your needs, even that really starts to draw people broke. And I'm seeing more and more that people are having a harder time to cope with this because it's getting too stressful. And even though
Right, and what do our apostles say? They pretty much say when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. So people's stress is at all-time high. People are ready to just crash out, man. This is crash out season, you know. And as a matter of fact, let me get this precept. Ecclesiastes 3, and I'm gonna start at the top. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build. So now this place is being broken down, right? To the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, this place is pretty much crumbling. Brick by brick, this place is being torn down, right? But it says a time to weep and a time to laugh. Right now is a time to weep. People are in a state of mourning. People are in a state of perplexed. People are perplexed right now. They're wondering why all this is happening. But it says a time to mourn and a time to dance. Exactly, man. But this is all because of the ruling class, Esau, Edom, right? This man has mismanaged the earth. This man has oppressed the people. The problems of the earth that you see right now is not because of immigration. It's not because so-called black people, right? It's because the ruling class, the rulers of this earth, have mismanaged the entire earth, right? They have taken away all its resources. They have stripped. They have pretty much set up laws and legislation to oppress the poor, to oppress those that are not part of their, circle, right? But this is Proverbs 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, right? And that's what we're seeing. People are in a state of mourning, so that should tell you who is in power right now, right? The wicked. They govern the earth. They're the ones that dictate the economy, how things go, the prices, right? All these things are dictated by the elite, especially since we're in this debt-based society where you got to deal with these greenbacks, these debt notes. They have more say so when it comes to pricing. You see, but at the end of the day, this is all the will of the Lord. This is America's time to be pretty much taken out. But it says Proverbs 29:2. I'm gonna read it back. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, right? Because once we get back into power, we're gonna be dealing things in the right way, the right manner. Silver and gold. That's what we're gonna. That's gonna be the currency, because it actually holds its value, right? There's a limited resource of gold, a limited resource of silver. With Esau's, these debt notes, he can print as many as he pleases, and then the value of that note, starts to drop with more that he prints, right? And like we mentioned, well, at least she mentioned in the video, how wages ain't going up. Wages are staying, somewhat the same, very minimal, and they expect people to be able to survive or be able to pay their bills and put food on the table when the prices are literally doubling. But that's all because of this wicked ruler, man. Let me see. As a matter of fact, let me get this. Right here. Sirach 10 and verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. See, so a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered, right? So when a wise judge, when a wise ruler is in place, everything is in order. Those that need to be fed are fed. Those that need to be taken care of are taken care of. But with Esau, it's all like, it's almost like, oh, with this capitalist mindset, you pretty much got to fend for yourself, right? But when you look at our society, talking about, when we were in the ancient time, the ancient world, right, in Israel, we had things in place to where even the poor were able to eat. They were pretty much, well off. Over here, if you're poor, you got nothing to eat, you're through. And you see now in DC, they're trying to, lock up all these homeless people. You had some dude off of Fox, I don't remember his name, but pretty much he made the comment of, pretty much giving the homeless people a lethal injection, pretty much just to kill them, right? So as we read down here in verse 2, it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So they take on the vibration, the mindset of the ruler, right? So Esau's in his mindset, the top elite are in his mindset of pretty much fuck the peons, fuck the sheeple. So we're seeing that, spill forth into the lower luminaries, right? That's what that guy said, pretty much give him a lethal injection, just kill him, right? Because they don't care. To them, it's fuck the poor. It's all about us, right? Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. See? And that shows you this man, that's exactly what he's doing. This man is unwise. He's destroying the people. He's constantly oppressing the poor. Here it is, these people can barely put food on the table, and this man's still going to raise up taxes. Going to take away your, or raise up the prices of insurance, your health insurance. So these Americans are suffering. And not just Jake, because I saw one Jake right there, but even the rest of the heathen. You had Moab or Ammon, whatever she was, and even Esau's own people, right? These Edomites, even they going through it. So as the scripture says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he do good? So we're seeing this man even, having his own people in oppression. Which is why you're seeing a lot of these Edomites just speak out, because here it is, these top elite are making billions, millions of dollars, pretty much hand over fist. And they're giving, these lesser Edomites, just crumbs. So of course they'll be pissed. But anyway, verse 3, Sirach 10:3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. It says, verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Right, and that's talking about Yahushua. Yahushua is going to be in that power seat because, well, of course, he's, that's just destiny. That's just what's going to happen, right? But this man, Esau, has ruled unwisely. He is unprofitable. He has gone around just everything, ever since this man has been in the power seat, this man has destroyed, pillaged, and made the whole world into a fucking wilderness. Everything is scarce. Everybody is in a state of mourning. Everybody's, upset. Everybody is struggling. Everybody has their own financial crisis. But again, this is whenever you look at who to blame, you gotta look all the way up top. Who are the ones that's making the decisions, right? And I was gonna play this other video, but I think I'll probably just hold off on that. That other video, you know, it's kind of lengthy. I'll probably do a separate video on that one. But let me get this other one, Revelation 6. I don't want to make this too long. I mean, we're already reaching about a half hour. But this is Revelation 6 and verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny. Now, when you go into that word penny, as a matter of fact, let me get it. That goes into denarion. Right? Denarion. And it says, so it says, a Roman silver coin in New Testament time. It took its name from it being equal to 10 asses. A number after 1217 BC increased to 16. It says, it was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire from the parable of the laborers in the vineyard. It would seem that a denarius was the ordinary pay for a day's wages. See, so a day's wage, right? So it says, going back, Revelation 6 and 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So things is going to get very, as far as pricing, is going to get, out of hand. It's going to get to the point where you working for a day is just going to be enough to provide enough sustenance for that day. People are going to be in a very dire situation, especially if you're working a minimum wage. I mean, you heard that one Jake in that video say that $100,000 a year doesn't get you much, right? Well, imagine us that are living below, 100,000. Jay barely making 30K, 40K a year. You're really gonna have to be like, this is gonna come to pass. Revelation 6 and 6 is gonna come to pass. And this is gonna make a lot of people start losing their mind. People gonna just start taking whatever it is that they need. Start running up to these stores. I mean, we see it now. People going into these clothing stores and just taking clothes, right? Running, ransacking these gas stations. But it's going to increase, right? It's going to get so bad to where shops are going to be closed down. Businesses are going to shut down because of so much looting and rioting, or so much thievery. They're going to start, people are going to start pretty much robbing each other, breaking into people's houses. And like I mentioned earlier, once people have pretty much nothing to lose, they lose it. Like, people are just going to start just saying, fuck it. That's going to be the word at that time. That's going to be the phrase people are going to be saying in these last days. Fuck it. Right? Now let me get this other one. Isaiah 24. Start around verse 7. Yeah, I'll start at 7. It says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry hearted do sigh. The mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceases, right? So the mirth is gone. Mirth, we see, and it quickly disappeared. People that are still in the state of mirth, they have, a little bit of money, but, they have to kind of like be careful how much they spend, right? But it's gonna come a point to where people are really not even gonna be able to go out to the clubs, go out to eat, have a good time and all this and that. Oh, let's go to the barbecue. Like, nah, this, people ain't gonna have money to do no damn cookout or barbecue. I seen this um even within Jake. Instead of buying the flank steaks that Jake used to get and put on the grill, now you got to substitute that with a more cheaper meat. A cheaper portion of the cow, or just get chicken, grill some chicken, right? But it says, verse 9, they shall not drink wine with a strong drink, or they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it, right? So even drinking, you know, drinking is not going to be a form of escape, because that's what people, usually go and drink to unwind, to pretty much escape the reality of their day to day. But why do people do this? And it's ultimately because, like I said, Esau being in the power seat has just oppressed everybody. Where everybody, even his own people, are in this state of just mourning, man. Not really, just complaining, crying, looking for any way to escape their situation, their current situation that they're in. But when you look at, people are always talking about going back to the golden ages. And really these Edomites, not really Jake that's talking about that, it's really Edomites that's talking about it. Going back to the golden time, the golden ages, talking about the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, well, really the 50s and 60s, right? After World War II, because they had a boom in their economy at that time. People were, well, pretty much these Edomites forefathers were able to buy groceries, and it didn't even affect their paycheck. They're able to buy cars, buy houses, buy property, and they were living good. They were eating good. Pretty much the American dream. They were able to live out their American dream, or the American dream, Salakia. But now these Edomites, the American dream is a fantasy. It's unattainable. Even people that are able to, or that are making 100K, right? Even they feel like, the American dream is unattainable. That whole American dream was really a lie. It was just an illusion to keep you running, to keep you, chasing the bag, to keep you chasing something, or keep your time occupied. Pretty much give you something to occupy your time instead of focusing on this truth. And that goes for you tribes, right? Because ultimately, now that the truth is out here, Jake should be focused on this truth. He should be really in the state of leaving this world behind. Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This place was never meant to be our rest. And Jake that's still in this mindset of trying to find, be financially free and trying to find, rest on this side, you're going to be disappointed. So that's why we tell and pull our people to depart, turn back to the Lord. That's the only way you're going to find protection in these times that we're coming into. There's going to be no protection with the money that you have. Even though the scriptures talk about how money's a defense. Yeah, Jake still works. They have to be able to pay the bills. But at the end, whenever all hell breaks loose, whenever shit goes down, that money is not going to save you. So brothers ain't really focused on, trying to get generational wealth. We're just trying to get our daily bread, and that's it. Just make it through the day, go move on to the next day, and hasten the day of the Lord. We're trying to get the fuck up out of here. Even if you are rich in this kingdom, You can't really do much with that. Everything's a snare. You know, they say in the world, you know, more money, more problems. And that's exactly what happens. Family members coming, starting shit with you because you don't want to give them a certain amount of money. You know, there's always something. There's always something. But let me continue on. Isaiah 24:10, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Right? It says, verse 11, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Right? There's a crying for wine in the streets. People are looking for solutions. People are looking for answers. Mainly this truth. People are really going to start looking for this truth when everything is said and done. Right? But because all joy is being darkened, you know, pretty much mirth is leaving the hearts of these people. People are really right now looking for a solution. How do I get back to that? How do we get back to this? To how it was? How do we go back to normalcy? Right, during the CVID, when that was going on, people wanted to go back to normalcy. How do we go back to how it was before the vid? Right? People just looking for answers, an escape, a way to yeah, just escape their current situation. Right? I also want to get this because seeing that we're at the end of this man's kingdom, the fall of America is here. We're seeing that all these curses that we went through, and we're still going through it, but we're seeing a lot of that is being lifted up off of Jake and started to be added unto the heathen. But this is Deuteronomy 30. I'll start at 7. It says, "And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." See, so all the curses. Now we're seeing Esau fall victim to it. Esau's getting touched. Esau's going through suffering. You see? But it says in verse 8, "And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord Yahweh, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day." Right? And that transition is happening, where Jake is being raised up. We're rehearsing the righteous acts, and we're seeing Esau's I guess you can say so-called untouchableness is being lifted off of him, and now he's being touched. And those of us, you know, that trust and believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we're being protected, we're being preserved. The Most High is dealing with brothers, man. Here it is, brothers is you know, barely making it by, but hey, we're making it by. The Most High is going to continue to provide for us. Especially whenever, you know, the society collapses and, you know, you're going to have to just go off grid and really just trust in the Lord. Then the Most High is really going to show out. Really going to start showing out for brothers, man. Because Isaiah 65 says it. As a matter of fact, let me get that. Isaiah 65:13. It says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed." So the Most High is going to look out for his men. Those that believe and trust in his name, they're going to eat. They're going to drink. You're going to rejoice. Verse 14, "Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart." And why are we going to be singing? Because we're going to see the fall of our enemy, and we're going to know that our time is near. Salvation it will be close at hand. But it says, "But ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit." Right? Those that rejected the Lord, 2/3, they're going to be in that bad situation. But also the rest of the heathen. Now, of course, to them it isn't offered salvation. Salvation is only offered to Israel, mainly the elect of the nation of Israel, you know. But yeah, you know, these times that we're coming into, you're really gonna have to tap into the Lord to lead you, to guide you. You know what I'm saying? Because these scriptures are comforting. You know, you might be in the mindset of like fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned earlier, you know, that phrase fuck it, people gonna be in that mindset. Right before they go commit some crazy act or go rob a store or something, they're gonna be in the mindset of fuck it. You know what I'm saying? See, but the Most High is gonna uh, comfort us to where we won't be in that mindset, right? We're gonna be in that enduring, patient type of mindset, and we're gonna see miracles, right? Most High is gonna make a way is gonna find a way to keep us fed. He's gonna make a way for us to be joyful, for us to eat, for us to drink, right? But yeah, that was pretty much it though. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. You know, I pray this lesson was edifying, but I'm gonna close it out by saying all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing His word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm gonna say Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah.